I'm still nervous about some people in my house hearing this, but I was inspired to finally start and make a video, at least just for myself, by Veronica Crespo, who I've been watching for a long time. And she just made a video about what we're really afraid of in terms of sharing ourselves, looking vulnerable, and just not holding inside the things that excite us and the things that we feel like connect us to other people because we don't feel like it reflects, like we're able to reflect any special skill or special knowledge of ourselves that will be useful to other people. But I think it's been proven to me time and time again by other people that it's just the act of being honest about how you feel and about the thoughts and the ideas and the the realizations that excite you that is truly valuable to other people because it reminds them of the core of themselves and what they have in common with others. And that when you get to this place of leaving the judgment behind and the idea of what are we going to make out of this that's going to be so great and so important, then we can start actually connecting, and that's what we really want anyway. And so I have all sorts of topics that I really want to talk about. I've written down a few notes. Like I want to talk about urgency in our lives, because in the context of, I mean, so many things. But what do we deem urgent to do? Like why do we let certain things drive us throughout our days? Why is this what needs to happen and not this? And something that I care a lot about is, okay, in the political discussion, why do we talk about all these issues that we all agree are problems, and why only certain parts of those to different people actually important or urgent enough for us to act on in our own lives? I want to just talk more about news and the purpose of news, to sell things and to sell ideas. And I mean, I could go on forever about the idea of appetite and how our appetites are influenced by all these things around us. And I want to turn, I want to find a good mix between where the manipulation that corporations and many parts of society enact upon us is seen for how powerful it is, but also not seen at all in a conspiratorial or a or inescapable kind of way, as if they run the show and we're pretty much slaves whether we like it or not, because we are not, as much as we have plenty of weakness related to those things because of how we've grown up. So I also want to talk about, can we live without food? I've recently come across a lot of videos by people that are breatharians who might eat food, and I really like how, just like with freedom with anything, most of them, hopefully the goal is that they can eat when they want and they see the beauty in it and they don't judge people who don't, but they have somehow overcome and their body has trained itself to become more independent than we could have ever imagined possible. I also want to just talk about languages and cultures all around the world. Particularly, I wanted to start with India because I think it's fascinating, all the different states and the different languages. I could also talk about learning Hangul, the writing system for Korean, and back to politics and government. I really want to have more of a discussion amongst young people about how much, about the role of government in our lives, about can we live without government in certain ways? What ways do we want to create that sort of dependency on government? And what do we want it for? Like, what is that positive vision for government? I want to talk about just interpersonal relationships and judgments, about recognizing the beauty in other people, about how even if other people are not taking the same steps towards liberation or just personal growth as you are, how they're making many brave choices and have many little triumphs or that you might not recognize. There's so many things really. I recently came across the idea of trying to have more of the mindset that your body is working for you rather than against you, and not being fearful of it. And in the healing process, I'm still really struggling with it, but understanding that all the signals and feelings that your body gives you are there for a reason and that are helping you find the solution. And so your belief in your ability to address those things and not just be fearful that they won't go away on their own is so, so crucial to actually healing. I want to talk about the concept of expecting more, of not settling for what your situation is or what you're feeling if you're not totally connected to it, because there's a crazy amount of cynicism, at least I've felt with myself, about and just that you just forget so many times that you don't have to feel this way in a particular situation. You don't have to react this way. You don't have to do this. You have so many choices. And yeah, I could go on, but my last little bullet point was talking about how to treat the symptoms. How in our society it's crazy how we treat the symptoms of all of our problems. And if you go to any grocery store, any store, you see a huge amount of products for every sort of symptom that we've pretty much ever displayed, and that there's unfortunately not a huge deep interest by the general population in really having the experience of understanding their symptoms and what they're trying to tell us in our bodies, so, and in our minds, and all those kinds of anything, any signals that we get, be them positive or negative, honestly. So I'm happy to have had Veronica give all her thoughtful and heart-opening videos to me that comforted me when I was feeling especially low. And I know it's time for me to try to drop my own judgments and start creating something. So thank you for listening.